Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be building a portfolio project, and this is going to be built using Next.js 16. So with this, as you can see, it's going to be a clean modern UI. We're going to have our hero page, we're going to have our projects page, we're going to have an about page, and lastly on our footer, we're going to be able to send a copy of our resume via email to whoever wants it. So here, as you can see, we can hit projects and we scroll right down to the project section via smooth scroll. We can hit the about and we go right to the about section, and in the contact page we're going to hit this and get the contact. And for a copy of our resume, we can either view the resume here, and as you can see, you're able to view the resume, or we can close out of that. We can view our projects. These are all our projects. We can click on each and every single one of them to show what our projects are going to what our projects look like, and use the actual projects. Or we can come to the about section where we see every single stack we use, and we're able to get a copy of our resume by placing in our email over here. So once we place in our email, we hit send resume, and a resume has been sent. Check your inbox. When we go to our mail, we can see that an email, there we go. So we can see an email has been sent to us. We can go ahead and hit view or download, and when we hit that, you can see the resume comes up. We're able to download it if we want, and that's pretty much it. So resend is what we're going to be using. It's the external tool we're using to get this email sent to us. But with all that said, let's just jump right into the project. So in order to begin, what you're going to do is go to resend.com/docs introduction. So resend.com/docs/introduction. And here we're going to be using Next.js Quick Start. So you're going to go ahead and click this create an API key and then verify your domain. The best way to do all this is just watch this video. It's very informative. And then what we're going to do is we're going to install the Resend Node.js SDK. So we're going to install this. And this just shows you how to create an email template using React. So we're going to be using this, but we're just going to, build it on our own. So we're going to try it out on our own. But this is what you need. This is the main ingredient for this. So this is the main ingredient for our project. So now we're just going to come down here and we're going to copy this npm install resend. We're going to create a new window here. So let's open this up. And let's make this a little bigger. So view, appearance, zoom in. Awesome. Let's close out of this because we're not going to be using it. So this is going to be make directory portfolio YouTube. We're going to cd into portfolio YouTube. And we're going to state npx create next app at latest. So we're going to be using Next.js 16, and we're just going to add a dot to it. So it just creates it within that portfolio YouTube folder. So no, we're going to customize our settings. We're not going to be using TypeScript. So TypeScript, no. ESLint, yes. React compiler, no. CSS, Tailwind CSS, yes. Would you like to code inside src? Yes. Would you like to use app router? Yes. Would you like to customize the import alias? No. And just like that, it's going to install. So once it's done installing, then we can go ahead and paste in that command. So let's give it a second here for it to install. It shouldn't take that long. There we go. There we go, success. So let's clear out of this. So let's paste this npm install resend in there, and we should be all set. So now if we open a folder, we're going to open this portfolio YouTube folder, open, and there we go. Let's close out of this. So now if we state npm run dev, so right now it's going to open up on 3001 because actually let's keep it at 3000. So let's clear this out. So let's clear this npm run dev. We're going to keep it at 3000. That's fine. It's compiling, so let's open this up, and here we go. Here's our home page. So we're not really going to be doing much with the configuration. We're just going to go right to our code. So within this source, we have our app. Within the app, we're going to have API folder. Within the API folder, we're going to have a new folder, and this folder is going to be called send resume. Within that send resume, it's going to be route.js. So this is the route we're going to be using to send our email, our resume email, like I showed you at the beginning in the introduction. So this is what we're going to be using to send that. It's the back end we're going to be using to send that. But before we do that, let's go ahead and create our .env. Let's make sure within our .env, our get ignore has .env in there. There we go. So .env is in there. So let's go back to .env. It's just always a good method to make sure that our .env is within our .ignore. So now what we want to do is we're going to create three different credentials. So here we're going to say resend from, and here it's going to be resume public URL. Cool. So keep in mind, this is all local. So this is this .env. So let's do this instead. So rename .env.local. So let's name this .env.local. So this is all local. And the reason why we do that is because our resume, the reason we have to make sure this is local is because our resume public link is going to look like this, HTTP. So you see how it doesn't have the S, so it's HTTP localhost 3000 / resume.pdf. There we go. So that's why, because when we have our production, it's no longer going to be HTTP localhost 3000. So we're going to change this in production. So if you guys want to see how this is going to work in production, how we're going to deploy this, let me know in the comment section and like this video so we can go ahead and deploy this. But right now, this is going to be a development only project. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Now, what we want to do is within our public, we want to go ahead and input our logo and our resume. So our resume.pdf, I'm going to go ahead and just place it in there. So it's resume.pdf. This is your actual resume, the resume you want to send and you want to be able to view when the user clicks on send me the resume or when a user clicks on view resume. So this is your actual PDF resume. Now we want to create a logo. So I'm going to use my YouTube logo and I'm going to go ahead and just paste it in there. So this is my YouTube logo. So we're going to have these two in there. So the resend API key, you should have gotten that from resend, and your resend from, you should also have created a domain within resend that you're going to be using. So my domain is my actual website domain. So I'm going to be using my actual domain, which is boatluna.io. You guys can use whichever domain you want, but for my domain, I'm going to be using boatluna.io, and then it'll show you how to create an email to or email from within that video you watched. So within the documentation, you should have seen how you create that. Within the documentation, you should have seen how you create the email, so how you send it. So for example, here, this is from Acme onboarding at resend.dev. So this is what the resend from is going to look like within the .env environment. So this is the from within the .env environment. So their domain is resend.dev. All this, you're going to see how to do that within the documentation. So I'm going to go ahead and place mine in there. So it's still a secret credential. It's a credential, so I'm not going to show you guys what it is, but I'm going to go ahead and do that off screen and then come right back in finish out the project. Awesome. So I went ahead and did that. Now we can work on our actual backend code. So we're going to start with the backend. The first thing we're going to do is say import resend from resend. That's it. So we're going to say const resend is equal to new resend. And this is going to be process.env.resend API key. So the API key you got on you had when you created your resend account, or when you connected to your resend account. So now we're gonna say export async function post, and it's gonna be a request. So we're gonna request, and we're gonna say try catch. Within try, we're gonna say const body is equal to await request.json. We're going to say const email. So we're going to fetch that email from the front end to the back end. And here we're going to say if we don't have email, or type of email is not a string, is not equal to string, then we want to respond with an error. So next response.json. And here we're going to say error valid email is required. Status here is going to be 400. Cool. And now we want to say const resume URL is equal to process.env.resume public URL. So this is going to be our resume link. So this is the link to our resume that we have in our .env. So now we're going to say const from is equal to process.env resend from, or if that's not there, we're just going to say resume. And if you guys use this, it's not going to work. So make sure you went ahead and created your environment, your credentials from resend. Because if you use this resume at boatluna.io, it's not going to work because you don't know my API key. So you got to make sure you have yours, your domain set up within resend. So now we're going to say const error is equal to await resend.emails.send. And I'm not some kind of genius here. So what I'm doing is within, within this, it's basically this. This is what we're using. So API send, app.api send, this is what we're using. It's pretty much the exact same thing I'm doing. It's not some kind of rocket science I'm implementing. So we're just basically using this. The only difference is this is in TypeScript. I'm using JavaScript. So that's practically it. We're just using this, but we're changing a few things around. So now let's go back here, and we're gonna say from, and we already have our from here, so we should be good. To, and to is gonna be the email that we extracted from our front end. We're gonna say subject, and the subject is gonna be my resume. And now we're just gonna have some kind of HTML. So the HTML here is gonna be backticks, and we're gonna say paragraph, hi there. So let's just do this. We're gonna have 4 paragraphs. So we're gonna say hi there. Thanks for checking out my portfolio. here's portfolio, here's a link to my resume. Cool. And now we're going to say, we're going to have a link, a tag, and it's going to be, we're going to state resume URL. And now we're going to give the person the option to view it or download it. Cool. And then we're just going to end with a greeting. We're going to say best. And then we're going to break. Actually, we don't need self-closing. So we're going to break, and we're just going to say Akin. Awesome. Put a comma there. And just like that, we're done. So now we're just going to handle if there's an error. So we're going to say if error. Then we're going to say console.error, error, return next response.json. Error is going to be failed to send email. Status here is going to be 500. We're going to return next response.json. Success is true. So for our error, we're going to say return next response.json. Error here is going to be something went wrong. Status is going to be 500. Awesome. And just like that, we're all done. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, so that's it. So we're all done with the back end here. We can go ahead and just close out of this. Now the main part we want to work on is our front end. So within page.js here, we're just going to take everything here and we're just going to delete it. So we're all set. So if we go over here, as you can see, we have an error because there's nothing there. So here we're going to start building out our front end. So let's go ahead and do that. So here, the first thing we're going to say is use client. This is going to be a client component. We're going to import use state from React. We're going to say export default function homepage. And here we're going to say const email is going to be set email. So this is how we transfer the email to the front, to the back end. We're going to say const status. It's going to be set status, use state. This is going to be idle. This is going to be const message, set message, use state, string. Now we're going to state a sync function. We're going to create a handle submit. And we're going to say e.prevent default. We're going to say set status to loading. and then we're going to set message to an empty string. Now we're going to have try catch for our try. So let's close out of this. For our try, we're going to say const res is equal to await. We're going to fetch. So this is going to be a post request. So we're going to say API/send resume, because that's the route we're sending it to. We're going to state method. Like I said, it's going to be a post request. We're going to say headers. This is going to be content type. This is going to be application/JSON. And then we're going to say body is going to be JSON-stringify email. Cool. Const data, the data that we get back is going to be await res.json. We're going to say if res is not okay, the response is not okay, we're going to set status to error. We're going to say set message to data.error. So that what's the error message is what we're going to find there, is what we're going to get back. Failed to send resume. Then we're going to return. Else we're going to say set status to success. Set message to resume sent. Check your inbox. So this is what we get when we send the message. When we send the resume via email and it's a success, it's going to say resume send, check your inbox, and then set email would be an empty string. Cool. Now for the error, we're going to say console.error error. We're going to say set status error. We're going to say set messages or set message something went wrong. Please try again. Cool. So now we want to create a helper function so that when we scroll through our application, so let's see if we can pull it up here. Actually, I can't because it's gonna clash. But when we scroll through, actually, yeah, I can. So give me a second here. Let me just pull up that application. So here, when we scroll, as you can see, there's no hash here. There's no hashtag here. There's no hashtag here at all. And then when we click on this, it scrolls smoothly. So that's all done due to that's all because of a helper function that we're going to create that takes away that hashtag here. So with the hashtag, it looks a little ugly. So we're going to create a helper function that helps fix that. So let's go back here, and that helper function is going to look like this. It's going to be function scroll to section ID. So it's going to take in the ID, and it's going to say const element is equal to document dot get element by ID. We're going to pass in that ID, So we're going to say if element element dot scroll into view, and it's going to be behavior smooth. Cool. So what this is basically saying is if we have that element, so if we grab the element by ID, so if we get that ID and it's selected, so if we click on that element, we want to scroll that element into view via a smooth scroll. So that's practically it. So now we can actually start seeing what we want to code out. So we're going to say return, and here we're going to have main class name, and it's going to be min height screen. So let's do this so we can see both. Cool. So we're going to say min height screen flex calm background gradient to black from slate 950 via slate 900 to slate 950. Oh, we didn't close it. There we go. Now we want to create our navbar header. So we're going to say header class name is going to be sticky. Top is going to be 0. Z20. Borders B. Border slate is going to be 800. Opacity is 50. Background slate is going to be 950. 70. Backdrop is going to be blur. Let's see. Now we're going to have div class name. Margin X is going to be auto. Flex max width is going to be 5XL. And we're going to say items center, justify between, pattern X of 4, pattern Y of 3. Cool. Let's see. Why aren't we seeing anything here? What's the issue? We should be fine. Let's see. Let's try that. Background linear to B. Okay. So we should be good regardless. So let's keep going. Cool. Now we have a button. Type here is equal to button. On click. We're going to say window dot scroll to top is going to be 0. Behavior is going to be smooth. Cool. So let's make sure we're doing everything right here. Let's see. This should be self-closing. So let's see, pattern is 3, button, type is button, on click is equal to this, which is equal to window dot scroll to, behavior, top, smooth. So actually, we're just gonna keep it like this. Then we're gonna have class name, flex, item center, gap is gonna be 3, hover is gonna be opacity 90, transition is gonna be opacity. Now we want image, and this is where we're gonna place in our logo. So the image is gonna be /logo.png. Alt is gonna be a Keen logo. Class name is gonna be width 10, height of 10, rounded, full object cover. Okay, so something's wrong because we can't see anything. It should look like that. Oh, I know why. So here with scroll ID, we didn't close it out. So this should be by itself. So now let's check it out. There we go. So we were writing within scroll ID the whole time. So return should be by itself. There we go. So why is image not working? Let's finish it up first. So let's say span, class name, text small, font semi-bold, tracking is wide, text slate is 100. So let's see. So why is our image not working? Oh, that's because we have SCR, not SRC. There we go. We could also use next image, but it's fine. Okay, so now we want to create our nav links. So after button, we're going to say nav, class name, flex, gap is 6, text is small, text is slate 300. We have button, type here is equal to button, on click is going to be scroll to section, and this is going to be projects. So we're going to scroll to the project section when we click on it. Class name here is going to be hover, text, violet, 300. Awesome. And it's going to be projects. There we go. And we have projects there. So now we're just going to take that button and we're just going to have 3 of those. Cool. So now this is going to be about. So it's going to be the about section. This is going to be about. Oops. So let's take this out. There we go. And the last one is going to be contact. So that's where we're going to put our email, where we're going to have them be able to contact us via email for our resume. Cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So we don't have these sections yet. That's why it's not doing anything. So now we can go ahead and create our hero section. So that's going to be the first one. So with our hero section, after this header here, we're going to have our hero section. So we're going to say section is going to be class name flex1. We're going to say div class name. And here we're going to say margin X auto map flex max width 5XL flex column gap of 12 pattern X of 4 pattern Y of 16 medium pattern Y of 32 medium flex row medium item center. We're going to have another div with the class name of flex1 space y6. We're going to say p class name is going to be inline flex items center gap of 2. It's going to be rounded full with a border, and the border is going to be slate 700. Background is going to be slate 900 with a 60 opacity. Pattern X is going to be 3. Pattern Y is going to be 1. Text is going to be small, extra small. Font is going to be medium. Text is going to be slate 300. And here we're going to say span, class name, height is going to be 2, width is going to be 2, rounded is going to be full, background is going to be emerald 400. Cool. And here we're going to say available for freelance and remote roles. There we go. Now after this, we're going to have h1 class name text 4XL font semi bold tracking is going to be tight. Text is going to be slate 50. Medium is going to be text 5XL. And we're going to say building clean modern web apps with there we go. Span class name. It's going to be background gradient to right from violet 400 via sky 400 to emerald 400 background clip text transparent. Here we're going to have Next.js and AI. So let's see if we open this up. That's a tad bit too big. So let's see. Actually, when we have our next section here, it's going to, so when we have this, it's going to fix itself. So let's see. Let's just make sure. Where is it? Text 4XL. Font semi-bold, track and tie, slate, medium, text 5XL. Yep. And then after this H1 here, we're going to have a P tag. Class name here is going to be max width XL, text small, text slate 300. Medium is going to be text base. And this is going to be APOS. I'm McKean, a software engineer and content creator. I design and build full stack applications using Next.js and modern tooling focused on smooth UX, clean architecture, and real world usefulness. There we go. So yours can say whatever you want it to say. And then after the P tag, we're going to have another div. And this div is going to be class name, flex wrap, gap is 3. Then we're going to have an A tag, href. This is going to be /resume.pdf. So this is for our resume. So when we click on it, it's going to take us to our resume. Target is going to be blank. So we want it to open up in a new screen. Blank. Class name is going to be rounded XL. Background is going to be violet 500. Pattern X of 4. Pattern Y of 2. Text is small. Font is medium. Text is slate 50. Shadow is going to be large. Shadow is going to be violet 500 with opacity of 30. Hover is going to be background violet 400. And it's going to be view resume. So now if we click on it, it takes us right to our resume. There we go. So that's going to be that. So now we're going to create another button. So right after our A tag here, we're going to have button, and a button type is going to be button. On click is going to be scroll to section, projects, class name is going to be rounded XL, border slate 700, hover border violet 400, opacity of 80, hover text violet 200. View projects. There we go. So let's see. We do something wrong here. So we have rounded border slate 700, padding X of 4, padding Y of 2, text is going to be small, font is going to be medium. We're going to say text slate 200. So now if we look at it, it looks just like this. So when we click on that, it's going to take us to our project section. So right now we don't have that. So after that, we're going to have this div. And then after this div here, we're going to have another div. Class name here is going to be flex wrap. Gap is going to be 2. Text is going to be extra small. Text is going to be slate 400. Spam. Class name is going to be rounded full border slate 700. Pattern X of 3, pattern Y of 1. Next.js. So we're going to do this. So the first one's Next.js, the other one's React, the other one is Tailwind, CSS. We have Prisma and Superbase, so we're going to need one more. There we go. Prisma and Superbase. Cool. And then AI integration. Cool. Awesome. So that's it for that. So after this div here, we're going to have div class name flex1. So let's make sure with Next.js is fixed here. There we go. A tag is going to be href. And this is for my link. So HTTPS newsletter.bolt luna.io slash, let's just do it this way. There we go. Target is going to be blank. Relative is going to be no opener, no refer. Class name here is going to be relative block. H is going to be 72. Rounded is going to be 3XL. Border slate is going to be 800. Background is going to be gradient to BR from violet 500, opacity of 20, via sky 510 to emerald 510, pattern of 6, shadow, and this is going to be zero. Wait, hold on. There we go. 0 underscore 0 underscore 40 px underscore RGBA 56 18 248 0.25. Hover here is going to be border violet 400 over 70. Hover here is going to be shadow, and we're going to have 0 underscore 0 underscore 50 px underscore RGBA 129 140 248 0.45, and we're going to have transition. Okay, so there we go. So as you can see, it wrapped itself. And now let's go back down here. Cool. So after this, we're going to have div all within the A tag. Class name here is going to be margin bottom of 4, flex, justify, between, text is extra small, text slate 200, and here we're going to say span featured project. Here we're going to say AI powered developer tools. And that's going to be that. Now we're going to say div class name space y3, text is small, text is slate 100. Div class name rounded to XL, background slate 950 60, pattern of 3. We're going to say P class name, text is extra small, text slate 400. Now shipping. Complete class name, text small, font medium, text slate 50, AI newsletter, and resume builder. There we go. So it's starting to come together. Div class name, we're gonna say grid columns 2, gap is 3, text is extra small. Div class name, we're gonna say rounded to XL, background slate, 400, 950 out of 60, so 60 opacity. Background 3, we're gonna say P class name, rounded to XL, background is going to be slate, 950. Oh, this is just going to be text. Slate 400. It's going to say focus. Going to have another pattern here. Automation. Delightful UX. Div here. Div P class name, text small, text slate 300 out of 80. We're gonna say build for teaching, real clients, and content creation, all in one ecosystem. Once again, you can put whatever you want in there. So that's going to be it. And now, so let's take a look at this. Okay, so we're missing stack. So let's see, why don't we have stack? Okay, let's do this. So after this div here, cool. So div, grid calls 2, gap, XS, rounded to XL, background slate 950, pattern 3, slate, this should be stack. There we go. And then this should be the stack being used. So we use Next.js, Next.js, Postgres, OpenAI. That's good enough. And then div. Pdiv, a 2 divs, div. So where are we at? So let's go back. So we can take one of these divs out. Okay, that was correct. Let's open this up so we can look at it fully. So let's take this out. Okay. There we go. So it's fixed. So now the essence of that was when we click on this, because this is a featured project, when we click on that, it takes us to this project. And if you guys haven't watched this project yet, it's one of the better projects I've built here. It's a SaaS application for AI newsletter and resume builders. So you guys can check that out in the link. I'm going to make it available in the link below. So let's go back here. So we're done with that, and we can view projects, all this, view resume works. So now we're going to go ahead and create our project section. So for our projects, let's come back here. What we're going to do is right after this section here, we're going to go ahead and create projects. So this is going to be another section. This is going to be ID is equal to projects. Class name is going to be border T, border slate, 800 out of 60. So 60 is the opacity. Background is going to be slate, 950, 60. Padding Y is going to be 16. Medium is going to be padding Y is going to be 32. Cool. Now we're going to have div, class name, padding X of auto, max width is going to be 5XL, padding X of 4. You're going to say div, class name is going to be margin bottom of 8, flex, items center, justify, between. H2 class name is going to be text large, font semi-bold, text slate is going to be 50, and we're going to call this projects. Cool. And then after H2, we're going to have P, and this is going to be class name, text XS, text slate 400. A few things and APOS I've built recently. Cool. So after this div here, we're gonna have another div, and this is gonna be grid, gap of 6, medium, grid, sorry, columns 3, and then we're gonna have a href, and this is gonna be https newsletter.bolt.luna.io. So you guys are gonna put whatever your latest project is. Target is gonna be blank. Rel is gonna be no opener, no refer. Class name is gonna be group. rounded is going to be 2XL. Border is slate 800. Background is slate 950 out of 60. Pattern 4. Hover. Border. Violet 400. 70 opacity. Transition. P class name is going to be margin bottom of 2. Text small, extra small. Font is going to be medium. Text is going to be violet 300. This is going to be the AI newsletter. We're going to have an H3. Class name. Margin bottom of 2. Text is going to be small. Font is going to be semi-bold. Text is going to be slate 50. Here we're going to say personalized AI-driven newsletter SaaS. And then after this H3, we're going to have another P tag. And this is going to be class name. And this is going to be text, well, margin bottom of 3. Text is going to be XS. Text is going to be slate 400. Summarizes content with AI, schedules send times, and delivers personalized emails. Another P tag here. Class name is going to be text 11px. Text slate 400. Next.js. Prisma. Superbase. Ingest. OpenAI. Cool. And then we're going to do it again. So for project 2, so what we're going to do is just take this A tag here, copy it, and just bring it down 1. So the next one, project 2, is going to be, this is going to be resume.boatluna.io. It's going to be resume and cover letter. This is going to be AI powered resume and cover letter builder. This is going to say generates tailored resumes and cover letters from job descriptions and your profile. Cool. So this was Next.js, Superbase, OpenAI. We did not use ingest. So that was it. Here we actually used resend as well. Cool. So now we're going to bring it down 1 more again. This is going to be myth.boatliner.io. This is going to be mythology search. This is going to be, let's just take out this part. AI search engine for myth and lore. This is going to be semantic search across mythological stories with rich filters and fast UX. So this is going to be Next.js. We used MongoDB, Superbase, OpenAI, Tailwind, CSS. Cool. And that's it. So let's open this up. And this is what our projects looks like. Awesome. Let's see, is it the same? It looks different, doesn't it? So let's make sure, let's close out our resend. So let's make sure. Let's come up here to our section here. Oh, so here, this should be max. So max width. So if we go back, there we go. Now it looks the same. Awesome. So just little typos here and there. And then now we're in the about section. So we're done with this section. We can come down to the about. So here we're going to say section. ID is about. Class name here should be pattern Y of 16. Medium pattern Y of 32. We're going to say div class name man x of auto max width 3XL pattern x of 4 space Y4 H2 class name. This is going to be text large, font semi-bold, text slate 50. This is going to be about. We're going to have a p tag here. Class name is going to be text small, text slate 300. This is going to be I'm a developer. I'm a software developer who focuses on creating clean, modern experiences with React and Next.js. I also create content teaching web development and real world project building. Cool. So let's check it out. There we go. So after this div here, after this p tag here, we're gonna have another p. So it's gonna be text small, text slate is gonna be 300. This is gonna say my current stack includes, and we're gonna have an unordered list. So we're gonna say UL class name and this should be list disk, list inside, text small, text slate 400, space is Y1, and here we're going to say list item Next.js. So we're just going to do this. So Next.js, Tailwind, CSS, Superbase / Prisma, PostgreSQL, OpenAI, API, and AI tools. And we're going to have Docker plus Nginx deployments. Cool. And just like that, that's it. So we're going to open this up, see how it looks. This is how it looks. So if we hit projects, we go to projects, about, we come back down to about, hit this, we come back up. So lastly, what we want to build is our footer, one with the email form. So we're going to go ahead and build that out. So after section, we're going to have footer. ID here is going to be contact. And class name. This is going to be margin top auto, border T, border slate 800, background slate 950 out of 90, padding Y of 10. Div class name, margin X of auto, flex, max width 5XL, flex column, gap is 6, padding X is 4, medium is flex, row, medium is item, center, medium is justify, between. Div class name, space Y of 2. We're going to say H3, class name, text small, font semi-bold, text slate 50. This is going to say get a copy of my resume. And then we're going to say P class name, text XS, text slate 400. We're going to say enter your email and I'll send it to you instantly. And now after this div, we're going to create the form. On submit is equal to handle submit. Class name here is going to be flex width full, max width medium, flex column, gap 2, medium, flex, row. We have input, type is equal to email, required value, email, unchange, set email, e.targets.value. Placeholder is going to be u at example.com. Class name with full, rounded XL, border, slate, 700, background, slate, 900, pattern X of 3, pattern Y of 2, text is small, text slate is going to be 100, placeholder, text, slate, 500. Focus is going to be border, violet, 400. Focus, outline, none. So after that, we're going to have button, type is going to be submit, disabled is going to be status is equal to loading, class name is going to be margin top 1, rounded XL, background violet, 500, pattern X of 4, pattern Y of 2, text small, font semi-bold, text slate, font semi-bold, text slate should be 50. Shadow is large, shadow, violet, 500 over 30, hover, background, violet, 400. Disabled is going to be cursor, not allowed. Disabled is going to be opacity, $60, medium is margin top, 0. Here we're going to say status. If it's loading, then have it as sending, else it should default to send resume. So here we're going to say if we have message, then div class name, margin X auto, margin top of 3, max width, 5XL, pattern X of 4, P class name, text XS, status is equal to success. Text emerald 400. Else text rose 400. So let's see. There we go. And here we're going to have message. Cool. Lastly, we're going to say div class name margin X auto margin top of 8 max width 5XL pattern X of 4 text is going to be 11 px text slate 500. We're going to say copyright new date dot get full year Akin built with Next.js. Cool. And just like that, we're done with our application. So let's see if it works. So this is the whole thing. It's about 330 lines of code. So let's go over to Chrome. Let's see if it works. Let's make sure we have localhost 3000 here. Let's reload it. We're good. Cool. So let's go over to projects. As you can see, projects is here. We're able to click on any of them. So let's click on this. It takes us to Mythology app. We click on this. It takes us to our resume application. We click on this. It takes us to our newsletter application. About, you can put whatever you want and your stack. And now, moment of truth. Let's see if this works. So get a copy of your resume. So let's say and here we go. So as you can see, the resume sent. So I have it here. We can click on this to view it. And there we go. You can view it here. Since it's a PDF, you're able to download it as well. So I think it's a pretty cool portfolio project. So I think it's a pretty cool portfolio project. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys want me to show you how to deploy it as well, it's something I'm able to do. And you guys should comment in the comment section that you want to see the new, you want to see it deployed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on whichever next project we decide to build together. Peace.